This guy definitely leveled up. I used to work with him, and man, the guy used to be a janitor, and now he's a business owner of Hightower Trucking LLC. So you don't have no excuses why you can't level up, because this man leveled up. So welcome to the show, Brandon.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. So tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a kid. I grew up here in the greater Hartford area, East Hartford to be specific. Okay. Regular project kid. I was athletic, had played sports as a kid. I excelled at baseball and football. I love school, man. I was an academic. I wouldn't call myself a prodigy, but for a kid from the projects, I was an honor student, if you will. I tried to maintain good grades. My parents kind of forced that upon me, but I maintained it well. Through high school, I played sports. As I said, I had encounters, with the law in my area. Unfortunately, just stupid stuff. It'll be loitering and little non-stuff that, no BS, just sent me to court, I feel like, to give me a record and put me down a negative path. It caught up with me in my high school years, the end of my high school career. Literally a junior. I was about to be captain. It was summertime, mind you. This is the crazy part. It's my sad story, if you will. I was in the summertime. It was the summertime. I was going in from junior to a senior. Mind you, junior year, I was on the student council. Senior year, I'm set to be captain of my football team. I'm coming off of being an honor student. I just missed high honors by like 2 points, and I set a goal for senior year to do that. A fight broke out in the summertime on Silver Lane. I will never forget it, in East Hartford, right by Ranchler Field. It was a fight that broke out. I had nothing to do with it, but the police came. When the police got there, it was a house party. So it was a house party, a bunch of teenagers out running around. Police came, shot tasers out into the crowd, literally just to hit anybody, because everybody was just walking away. I was unfortunately one of those people who got hit. Boom, I got a record now. They kicked me out of school because it was in the paper. It just looked like a big brawl. Like, that's how the police made it seem, like it was this big fight. Had my name in the paper. They literally kicked me out of school. Mind you, school wasn't even in session. This happened during the summer. Summertime. They didn't let me come back to school. Like, it's like, really? Like, mind you, never mind my credentials, never mind my grades, none of that. I feel like they only seen the hue in my skin. Because that's the only thing, when you see the names and you see this in the paper and you associate that, you don't think, oh, this is a great kid, this, that, and the third. So, whatever, that was down my path. Mind you, I was a young parent. I was a father at the age of 16. So, my daughter, who's 19 now, I stuck raising her. I shouldn't say stuck raising her. I was happy to. It was a joy of mine. So, but I had responsibilities.
Of course.
So that's led me down the path. Mind you, I got a record or whatever the case may be. 16, I got a kid. I need to find work. So I worked little jobs. First job, official job, was at McDonald's. Tried to work my way through. After McDonald's, nobody really wanted to hire me. Again, I have a record. So leveling up to a better job and more sustainable for my family, tough. Almost impossible. It always resorted back to either no experience or you don't, you have this history, you have this record or whatever the case may be. We can't take you. I've had some people who looked at like you remember we used to fill out paper applications.
Yeah. Back in the days, y'all probably don't know about that.
The paper apps, man, and you got to get to that bottom. You can't leave it blank. You got to put something in there. So you put it, and they look at it. There's no BS. Seen one lady, she looked at it, looked at me, and said, "We're not hiring." Mind you, they had a sign outside, and I'm like.
I she could have played it off like,
I'm not about to sit here and go back and forth with her. I just, at that moment, I'm black. You see, I probably got red. Like, oh my gosh, like I was embarrassed, and it was just. So, time went on. I found my way. No lie, I had to sell drugs. I had to do what I had to do. Let's just say I did some illegal actions. I did some illegal things to make ends meet. Of course. It was never because of It was more out of necessity than choice than anything, for me personally. Yeah. So I finally get to a point where I get tired of that. I got caught up, after, I started the vortex with the fight. That literally set me on the path. So now I got a record, can't get a job. I got to make ends meet by doing whatever I have to do in the streets to, provide for my family. at some point get caught up in that, and you know, that's the beginning of the vortex. I knew that I had to get out of that. I knew that life wasn't for me. So I went and got my CDL. My parents, as a kid, I always was, no BS, my mother would always ask me for direction. How do we get in a place, we're lost, how do we get in here? And I literally would be able to help her get out. For some reason, I can remember turns. Okay, I turned right here, I turned left here, I turned right there, and I would always get us out. So I had a knack for driving. So my mother always told me, yo, just get your CDL. Your criminal history won't matter. You're on the road as long as you know how to drive, what you know how to do. I was still in my mom's car at 15 too. I forgot that, but we're not gonna talk about that. That's another story. Taking a car, so she knew I knew how to drive.
Into getting the CDL,
her and my current wife. Okay. I've been with her when the woman I had the baby with. She's my wife now, so I've been with her for 20 years now. Okay. So she's always been my confidant and my friend. So she and my mom, who have a good relationship, they encouraged me, listen, just do this. You like to drive. I had a little bit of money left. Mind you, I had just gotten out of prison. I had some money left over from, when I was running the streets. So that was my investment. I invested $5,000 into my license. I went to Allstate Trucking down in Seymour, Connecticut, and it changed my life. I did that for probably about 6 months. They get that, unlike nets, not to downgrade nets or nothing like that. They're probably a little overpriced, but these people get straight to the point. They teach you exactly what you need to know to pass the test. All the extra stuff, and you could do that and pay more somewhere else. I knew enough that I just needed to teach me how to drive and let me teach me to get my license. So I did that, and like I said, it changed my life.
That's great, man. So the felony, you have a felony, you have your daughter at 15 or 16.
I was 15 years old when she got pregnant, and no, she was 16, I was 15. Yes, I was 15 years old.
Yeah, so all that, and still was able to get out of it, So a lot of people, if they have those type of things on them, they just give up. Hey, I got a kid, hey, I got a felony, just give up, and life's hard, life's hard.
Nobody
make up
wants
excuses.
To be fair. Yeah, they're not treating me fair.
Yeah, they don't want to give me a job.
Nobody wants to give me a shot, and
but you gave yourself a shot.
I had that. I know, for the followers and people, I definitely had that moment where I went through that, like complaining, nobody giving me a shot, making excuses more or less. It really got to a point, and if you pay attention to yourself, excuses run out. Yeah. They literally get to a point where, this can't be an excuse. Yeah. Maybe earlier on, certain aspects, I can't go to work, I got a hurt foot, or whatever the case may be. But again, they run out. You heal, or other jobs open up. There are other opportunities, and unlike in my situation, I had to build my own table. Nobody wanted to give me a seat, so I built my own table. So that's where it came.
Excuses don't pay the bills, so you have to find a way to level up. So why did you choose entrepreneurship? You could have just try to get 2 McDonald's jobs, or
and work
what I'm
hard,
saying,
right?
just work hard, get a whole bunch of minimum wage jobs, or start cleaning cars on the side. Like, what made you say, let me start my own company? What's the why, the big moment you say, I got to start my own company? I know that you had to get money, because of your situation, but what really propelled you?
I always, money was definitely always on my mind. I had dreams, not to cut back to my youth, but I had dreams of being a football player. Yep. So money came with that. Once I got to a point where I realized the NFL really wasn't for everybody.
Everybody want to be. I want to be a basketball player. It never happened. Yeah.
Once I realized that dream was not feasible for me, I had to wake up. I had to do something else, and I went through a state of depression. Like at 18 to 21, I really didn't know, because my dream was shot. When I got kicked out of school, remember I was in football. I had college prospects. I was headed to college. It was all types of stuff going for me. That literally stopped a lot of things for me. So I literally had to rethink my whole life in that aspect. Damn, school not even an option for me right now. You see what I'm saying? So
that's tough. Man.
Entrepreneurship. I spent a lot of time with my great uncle growing up. Leslie, he was a business owner, and he started off with a similar background like me. He ran these streets. He sold drugs, big time, and he ended up getting into a situation where he had to go away for some time. But he made enough money, and like you said, houses back in the day were so cheap. He bought a couple properties. He bought a good 3-4 properties with some of his money, and when at that time back in prisons, which they don't do now, they were giving out trades and certificates and stuff like that. So he went in there and got himself a trade.
Another smart thing.
So he came out, and with his trade, he was able to start a business off of his trade. So on top of having these houses and now starting his business fresh out of prison, you know, supplying, you know, taking care of himself and his family, he's doing well. He bought a nice like 4-bedroom property out in South Windsor, down the street from Marcus Camby's mother's house. You have to drive by Marcus Camby's mom's house to get to his house. Wow. And we would drive by my mother. That's Marcus Camby's house or whatever, and it just felt good. Like my uncle down the street, my uncle down the street from Marcus Camby. Like I used to go to school and brag about my uncle down the street from Marcus Camby. Where your uncle live? Like
inspiring, man.
All of that. So. He definitely was an inspiring dude. He was one of those dudes who would, mind you, I'm his great nephew, but he came to all his nieces and nephew house on Christmas and bought everybody gifts. Nice. He traveled. Mind you, he has his own grandkids, has a bunch of them, but he extended out to his nieces and nephews. I used to love Christmas. Yo, when Uncle Leslie coming, like, you see what I'm saying? So, and as I got older and I learned his story, damn, this dude was doing all of that. This is how he did this. This is how he did this. Even though he went through this, mind you, I started going through the same stuff like that, so it's like, I can do this. Like, so my uncle was a big inspiration for me as far as being an entrepreneur, because it's literally what he did. I came from a lower class middle family, and over the years I watched my family at least become an upper middle class family. You see what I'm saying? Through grind. And he was my inspiration. I just used them as a stepping stone. Like, all right, I watched y'all get here. I'm gonna make sure I get up here. So level up.
Definitely, man. Love that story, man. That's inspiring for me. Definitely. So, what made you choose trucking? All the, you know, different companies you could have started. Why trucking?
As I said, I have a niche for driving. I love to drive. I'm an input-output person, so I like to be able to have control over my day. I like to know I'm going to leave here. I need to go down to Somerset, New Jersey. It's going to take me 3 hours and 45 minutes. Calculate traffic. You know, depending on what time I leave, I'm going to get there. I could probably get there in 3.5 hours. And I could be home. I'll pick up. That's probably going to take maybe an hour. And I could be home in about 8 hours total. And I make X amount of dollars. So I like to be able to do that. I like to have that much control where it's literally on me. How well I drive, how fast I drive, how fast I get my product off of the truck and trailer, and I can get back to, you know, home base. All of that is thrilling to me because, like I said, I'm in control. You don't have to go to work knowing. Some people go to work, keep looking at the clock every 15 minutes. Damn, it only moved been 5 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about that. And I'm in control. One of my favorite things to do. I shouldn't say my favorite thing to do, but the favorite things that I can do, which is take a nap on the truck, because I have a sleeper. So, you know, most jobs you can't go, there ain't none of that. You get your little 15-minute break, maybe half hour. Nah, me, I'm tired. Let me pull over right here. I'm going to take a little 20-30-minute nap, and I'll continue on the road or something like that. So
where the bed set up in the trucks nowadays, man. It's like,
got a TV in there, microwave, so I get food.
It's a hotel room, man.
The freedom. So being in the truck, so if you can, being a person, and I know a few truckers who were in jail, in prison at one point. If you can sit in a cell, you can be in that truck for 12 hours or longer. Some people dudes drive across country to be on the road. So believe me, it's better than being in the cell. And if you can do that for a couple months, you can be in a fucking truck for a week and make 10 grand.
That's inspiring right there. You said one thing you just said, freedom. That's what we all try to be, man. Because if you have a job and you got to go to the job every day, you don't have shackles on your feet, but you're still a slave. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to that job to make ends meet and to have your own company and you in control. Like, I want to take a nap now. Hey, I don't want to do that route. You know what I'm saying?
The freedom. I don't feel like going out there today. I don't want to go there, so I'm not going to go out there. And it's literally that's what it is. And can't nobody tell you no.
Exactly. Somebody else can take that route. I'm good for today. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely inspiring, man. So what is the biggest challenges with doing the trucking? You know, like it can't be that easy, or you know, everybody would do it, right? You know, so is there any challenges?
Was the case. Oh man, I would start from the beginning. As far as the challenges, you want to make sure. This is one of the things that helped me when I went into business. A mechanic. A mechanic is probably going to be. He is literally your lifeline. There are situations where if I didn't have a mechanic, I probably would have been out of business a long time ago. A long time ago. I could tell you the first instance on my truck, probably 4 months in, the radiator went on my truck. It's not a new. I bought a fairly new truck. It's about 4 or 5 years old, but it's still under warranty and all of that. That one piece wasn't under warranty, which was the radiator.
Wow.
It's a I think $2,200 fix
For a radiator?
for a radiator for the truck. $2,200.
Wow.
22.
Including labor and everything.
It was including labor and everything like that. But
Wow.
yes, $2,200.
You can't be broke in this business.
No, you
can't.
If that problem would have happened my first week, I would have my right there business done. Business done. I ain't got no money, but the next, so having a mechanic is key, and it's key. A personal mechanic, somebody that you know personally, in a sense,
know how to work on a truck. Not
that
a mechanic
can work
that
in a truck outside of a business. Why? Because you got these big corporate dealership companies or whatever. Freightliner, for example. Budget. Where's another one? Ryder. Some of the other ones. You get these trucks from them. If they don't have the time, mind you, all the trucks in the area come up. Big businesses, trucks, companies who got 50 trucks. I got one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of times they're gonna take those priority companies that's spending probably $1 million in every couple months with them over somebody like me who's under warranty. That so again, that can prolong your business. So you want to have somebody who you can get in, get your truck fixed, and get you back on the road. I knew somebody, my radiator went, I had my radiator fixed. I had to sit the next day out, I think, because I had to get the part. Probably the next day or two, but the third day I was back on the road.
Nice.
And I've known people for the same issue who have to wait 2 weeks just to get their radiator fixed. So that's the downtime is what kills people, because you still got overhead, you still got the insurance is still gonna come out at the beginning of the month. If you got a truck payment, if you don't own your truck, that's gonna come out. And that's not stop. They don't care what's going on with you.
Exactly.
That's not my problem.
You're not driving, so
Yes.
you pay us.
Do you need another loan to fix that? That's what they're going to ask you. Loan?
So basically, the top thing to you is,
for me, it's that, and dealing with being prepared for the downtime. You have to be prepared for it. You can't come in this because you are going to make a lot of money in the first couple months. I mean, we'll get to the money stuff, but you're going to make it. But you have to be mindful and responsible with it once you get it. Because like trucking with business, we don't pay taxes up front. We pay our taxes once at the end of the year. It's not like regular income people who, you get your taxes taken out every paycheck. So you got to be mindful of that. That's 15%. So even if all the money you make up front, you're not going to pay it at the end of the year, but be mindful. That money going to come out at some point. Uncle Sam want his money.
You don't want his money or you're going to be in jail like Wesley Snipes was, man. Come on, kidding me?
Just be mindful. So my thing is just be mindful, have a mechanic, be prepared financially for the downtime.
Got you. So what you would say one of the biggest perks and rewards of this trucking stuff, man? I kind of heard a couple already.
The biggest, definitely, let's get straight to it. It's pretty sure it's what a lot of people want to hear. It's the money. The money is there. When they say it's there, it certainly is. My first month in business, I made $20,000. Now, granted, that's gross. I had an overhead. If you want to look at the overhead, I can break that down. I paid about $1,500 for insurance. I paid about $1,600 for my truck payment. So I got a $3,100 overhead off the rip. And then depending on how much gas I use, which I automatically calculate, about $1,000 per week. I'm averaging about 2,000 miles. I'm going to tell them how many miles I do. About 2,000, 2,500 miles. And yes, I'm averaging about $1,000 in fuel per week. A lot of times less, but that's the number that I give myself. If it's less, that's just more money in my pocket. But I put it at 1,000, and I try not to go above that. But about a $7,000 overhead. So if you 20, minus 7, I'm looking at around 13,000. Take 15% out of that for Uncle Sam, and then you potentially say I have around 9,000, 8,000 a month that I make.
That's a good month. That's a good month, man. $1,000 per week. for gas, that's what a lot of people make at their job, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. So, I mean, the trucking definitely makes some money, man, but you definitely have some overhead, but I guess
the overhead there. But see, let me tell you, these are the things that people, before I started my business, they company drivers, they get scared of. You know, some of the old heads, they maybe dipped the pinky into the business pool and got right back out because they couldn't deal with it. I tell you one story, a true life story. This dude, it was a deterrent. It wasn't a deterrence for me, but it was more motivation. But I looked at him sideways like tires. That's what he said. You're gonna pay for your own tires. That was the story, and I'm thinking to myself.
That's it.
Now the first time I had to pay tires, but the tires, the first time I got all 10 to a tractor. I got a 2-axle tractor Freightliner Cascadia. $3,900 for 10 tires. So I paid $39 basically for $1,000 for all 10 tires, brand new. But I felt home, but I didn't. I had at that time. By the time I needed, I had the money. So
exactly.
But initially, when it was a little bit like, damn, I gotta pay for tires, I gotta pay for brake jobs, I gotta do all of this now. It's my responsibility. And I'm not gonna lie, briefly, it was a little bit like, am I doing the right thing? You know, rubbing my hands, feeling a little anxious, like.
Doing something different always, how come with a little anxiety, man?
I got mad with myself because I allowed myself to be affected by what this person said. Mind you, this is like a month later, I thought back like, and that helped me excel more. Like, I got this. Like,
exactly.
I got this. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do more. Like, you know what I mean? So
he made up that excuse so he wouldn't get into the business, you know what I'm saying?
I think he was scared to do it himself. So I guess you just got to be mindful of this. I mean, just trying to, I guess, I don't want to say deter me. I guess he called himself trying to, give me a heads up. But it was more like, for me, it was like hating in a way.
Like, hey man, don't go on and make all this money, man.
These tires, man, they're so expensive. Like, tires?
Just be a worker and just do the safe route. That's basically
and I'm looking at him like, but you gotta clock in. I'm thinking to myself like, okay, and mind you, I know how much this dude made. He made probably, after taxes, he probably brought home about $1,800. But he was working, it's good, but he was working 53, 60 hours a week. There was a time, my first month in business, I probably averaged 45 hours. 45, no more than 50 hours, but I was bringing home that type of money. I was bringing home $4,500 to $5,000 a week. So I traded my time, made more money. Okay, some of this overhead got to go towards gas, got to go towards this and that, but I'm still walking away with about $2,000, $2,500 after taxes, after everything. With this business. So for me, it was an easy trade-off. Okay, yes, I got a bigger overhead. Yeah, I got to pay for all of these things, but I'm still going to win in the back end after I take care of everything.
It's simple mathematics. You know what I'm
me,
saying?
That's what it was, simple math.
I mean, like, we got scientists here on Earth that could measure how much a moon galaxies away, light years away with math.
20,000 light years.
It's about 5,000 mass, whatever they say. You know what I'm saying? So
the trajectory is
exactly. We could swing a robot from Earth all the way to Mars. So of course we could do some simple math to find out if you could win by doing this business, man. That's all it is. So that guy was just scared. And what they say, scared money don't make no
money. Literally.
Yes.
And I play spades, so that's all I heard growing up. Scared money don't make money. You better go in on them books.
Go in.
So that's one of the concepts that help me.
Might help you out, man. Definitely. So is there a certain niche that you're in with your trucking business, or you do everything, for the most part?
I pretty much do everything. Right now, I'm building my business, so whatever's available. Like, I was running Amazon loads. Now I'm doing flatbedding. Flatbedding has higher rates. So, it's a little more.
What is flatbedding?
Flatbedding is mostly transporting like construction materials, shingles, wood, metal, plaster, sheetrock, stuff like that. And then, it's a little bit of work entailed in it, because a lot of times you see those be the trucks with the tarps over them and the straps, and the product's gonna get wet, so they can't fit in the container because they're being loaded by like forklifts and stuff like that. So fork got to get from each side, so that's why they don't have a container in their flatbeds. So unless it's like metals or some stuff that can afford to get wet, you got to tarp it, strap it up. That little bit of extra work is usually why the rates are a little bit higher, but it pays. So
obviously,
my first week of doing that, mind you, the $20,000 or whatever that I was making a month, that was with Amazon. So that was I just recently started the flatbedding shortly before, you know, my truck went down. I don't think we covered that, but we can.
Yeah.
But this probably boost me up probably about maybe 25,000. So I'll probably get an extra, you know, 1,000 a week or so like that in the rates. And again, I'm still home every day, so that's my thing.
Yeah,
I like to be. I like to be home every day, and that's another thing. Potential drivers and people, you know, start business, anything trucking. You don't have to go out on the road and be out for weeks at a time. Don't get me wrong. There's money in there. There's money in all of it, but you don't have to do it. That'd be a lot of the issue for a lot of people. And I know that was my issue why I started late, because I had a daughter at a young age. My youngest child, who's 7,
Yeah.
that was around the time I got my license. I really didn't want to go on the road. And all the jobs were offering, oh yeah, we'll hire you, but you're going to be on the road for 2 months. You're going to be on the road for 3 months. I'm missing the first year of my daughter's life and stuff like that. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up at OFS. That was one of the biggest reasons I had to stay local. I had a license back then, but I had to do whatever I had to do.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
This is one of the freshest janitors you're ever gonna meet, man. This guy was coming in with fresh clothes, fresh sneakers every week. I mean, he was made for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that he was different. Like, you know. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. So. Yeah, you had your CDLs and you just sacrificed that.
Sacrificed that for your daughter. I was a janitor with a CDL because I wanted to be close to my family. I didn't.
I respect that a lot, man. I respect that. You know. So, like a typical truck driver that go into the business, what you could typically make as being a trucker, like the average, like I mean,
you can expect to make at least 150,000 your first year. Don't matter who you are. First year. Don't matter who you are. Don't matter what you run in. The work is there. They're gonna need. I think I looked on like the DOT website because you can look these numbers up. By 2027, they're gonna need like 50,000 drivers. There's such a high demand for truck drivers, delivery drivers. There's really no excuse. There's companies who will hire you without a CDL and train you to work for them. Literally, you can look at those up now. That's how bad they need drivers. So. The industry is definitely out there. You would think with transportation, people who sit in the comforts of their home and order and just have the stuff delivered, non-CDL drivers are being hired. People who just drive regular vans. And it's not just Amazon. Other companies are picking up on it. So I think Dash is delivering grocery store products too now. Like they're not just delivering food from fast food joints or whatever. So
DoorDash.
Yeah, there's definitely
Uber
opportunity.
Eats, I mean, it's whole like
the whole nine.
The whole nine,
and that's just on a smaller scale.
Exactly.
Never mind when you get to a Class B or A license. So for me, like I said, I've hauled milk. I've hauled, you would think, dairy, cheese. People love cheeses and pizzas and stuff like that. All that stuff gets transported in tanks. And that's at the bottom level. The cheese, the milk and stuff gets transported in the tankers. Once they get it to the facility, they process it and it turns into packaged cheese. Now they reload it back onto a container truck, refrigerated truck, and it ends up in your grocery stores and then on your plate or whatever the case may be. Without trucks, this whole economy would come to an abrupt stop. Period.
Yeah,
so
like
everything
Yeah, you're gonna be needed for a while. So what's the top echelon you could say in trucking? Like, hey, if you do this type of truck.
I know I have a person. I know someone. After, mind you, okay, so I'm a year in business. Yep. After 2 years in business, you're eligible to get leases. You're eligible for loans from banks. You're eligible for all. So that's when people, if they can survive 2 years, they really want to see people survive on their own. Just tread water for 2 years. That's when they'll come in and help you. Those PPP loans, all of the stuff. You technically weren't. I mean. If you start a business prior to 2020, but even other loans, you're not eligible until you have been in business for 2 years. They want profit and loss statements for at least 2 years. After that, okay, take this money, or we see you manage money well, whatever, go ahead, take this. So, excuse me. So, the money that you can potentially make, once you get that, now you can invest into new business. So it's like, okay, I got this. You've been in business for 2 years. I got these routes. I got 5 routes. I need to go buy 5 trucks. You can lease them now because they've seen you've been in business for so long. So even with just little money down, you'll get those 5 trucks. They know you got to pay them, whatever it is every month to maintain those trucks, $2,000, whatever it is. But the run that you got those trucks on gonna make $3,000-$4,000, maybe about $5,000-$6,000. So literally every week. So you got 5 trucks. That's $30,000 a week. You got to pay your driver probably about $1,500 to $2,000 depending on how, what they're doing, how much you're gonna end up paying them. So you deduct out of that, you left with $4,000 per truck. Let's just say you top it out, you pay them $2,000 each driver. 5 drivers, so 4 times 5, you left with $20,000. You mind you ain't do nothing. That's not even including your truck. That's just you managing the business.
Damn.
So you got $20,000. Your drivers are paid. You could probably take another $5,000 out for gas for that. Each truck is probably gonna be about, I would say per month, mind you, you're making $30,000 per week. So per month you're gonna pay probably around $1,800 to $2,000 for each truck, plus your driver. So what is the math for that? So 2, 4, 6, 8. So you looking at around, after 15, you looking at around $7,000. I think $7,000 per week doing nothing, just managing their business.
Each truck?
But for total.
Oh, total?
After you get from all of those trucks, after you paid your drivers, after you pay for gas, everything else, you yourself as the owner, you're left with $7,000.
Wow, not doing nothing.
Not doing nothing, but everything else is paid for.
So the top echelon is when you actually, have a couple of trucks and have drivers.
Don't get me wrong. Okay, if you want me specifically, let me talk about myself specifically. I have the potential this year to make $280,000. My first full year in business. $20,000 a month, literally. So you can do the math. $240. I like to work overtime. There's some weeks, not to brag, I pushed it and I made $9,000.
You ain't bragging, man. We like
mean?
numbers.
Yeah. So I could show you personally. I pushed it one week, and the highest money I made in a week was 10 grand. I worked that week. I probably worked like 65 hours though. I bust my ass. I worked 7 days straight. But I wanted to hit that number. So that was the goal. I wanted to be like, you can tell me
we all have like a number in our head we push to, man.
So,
but that's nice.
That's my max. My minimum, I try to keep it around no less than $4,000. That's my, you gotta have a number where operating costs. My operating cost is $3,500. I can't make less than $3,500. In order to be even slightly profitable, I don't need to be making big bucks, but in order to maintain my business, take care of my overhead and everything I need to do, $3,500 is my minimum. So I have to make that. Everything above that is just a plus. You see what I'm saying? Nice. I've been averaging about $4,500 to $5,000. And then when I grinded, the most I've made was 10. I made around a little over 10,000. So yes, the potential here, let's just keep it at 20,000. You can make 240, 250 a year easily your first year. Taking care of your business, managing, making sure you take care of the truck. I always put my truck first. So I hear any sound on it, it's getting fixed. Calling my guy gave up. Yo, come fix this.
Nip it in the bud.
ASAP. This is my bread and butter.
Exactly.
So she has to be running.
The one with tire falling off.
She has to be running seamlessly. Again, I don't care what it is, and that's what for me. I'm an overhead pro. I like to take care of things quick and up top from here down because I know it's going to take care of me. So again, if I invest into this truck, even though I got this extra money, okay, I could go buy, buy new couches or something for my house, buy a new dining room set. Yeah. But this truck is gonna need filters and the oil change. That's $450 every time you get an oil change, $450.
Wow.
Every time. Well, and mind you, I'm getting a deal because I know the mechanic.
That's a deal, $450.
I got another dude who left me a car and told me $750 for oil change for the truck. It's matte filter.
And I thought Jaguar oil change was a lot of money.
And then you got to do it every 20,000. You're supposed to do it every 20,000 miles, 15 to 20,000 miles, and I'm doing 2,500 miles a week. So you would think I'm getting that oil change every 2 months, every 3 months. So you do the math on that per year. Let's just say $500 per year. Every 3 months. That's $2,000 a year. But those are the great thing we didn't talk about. All of this stuff is tax deductible.
Of course.
All of this stuff for the business is tax deductible.
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Yeah, that's. Man, you should know that already, man. If you own business,
that's probably gonna be another episode that we could discuss that.
Yeah, tax deductions. Yeah, tax deductions, man. That's great, man. So. Having a trucking business, you can really make some bread.
Yeah, you can definitely make a little.
And it's all on you, how much you want or little you want.
Yeah, it's all about how you grind. Again, I was told I grind well from other owner operators, so I have a good grind. And I'm young now, so it's like, do it now. You see a lot of drivers older, maybe a little unhealthy, hard to get out of the truck, or bigger. You don't want to do that.
They're not gonna be pushing it to the limit.
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
You know
So I mean, I'm young, I'm healthy. Let me get it now. Get it now.
Yeah, get it, man. Get that chicken, man.
Because my mother always taught me this is one of the things. Yo, work hard now and play hard later. And that's literally my mindset. Like I'm gonna grind now because I know by 50, this is my goal. I'm retiring by 51.
Hey, gotta have a number in mind, and you got your number already.
51, I'm done. No matter what, I'm 34 now, so what I got 17 years. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Man. Be there. So, what are some of the risks with the trucking, like liabilities? You would say that you gotta watch out for.
The liabilities, you don't want to get into like a lease payment or these truck payments and not have the work. That'd be a lot of issues for a lot of people. They think about, or they have money put aside for themselves, or savings. And I don't know, maybe they came into some money or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna go buy a truck. They got a license, got to buy a truck, but it's like, all right, boom, they got everything going, and it's like, where am I gonna get the work from? You got to reach out to people. You got to make these connections. And now they got sites. Believe it or not, there's apps and stuff like that where you can put your truck up, post your truck, and they can hire you if they have the availability or a need for it or whatever. That's kind of how I started. So I'm not going to deter people from doing that. One of the biggest risks, like we could go back to, is, and I'm literally dealing with this currently, is parts. Aside of having a mechanic, he has no control over the parts that your vehicle needs. So I have a piece, it's called a one box. Specifically, it's like the key computer for the exhaust, for the diesel exhaust system and electrical tractors. They're on back order. They're on back order for like 2 months. I'm at the mercy of the dealership, whoever makes those parts. Mechanic can't do nothing. I've literally been out of work for a month. I'm glad I'm financially responsible, and I have other investments that I can take from. But it would be a big hit if you can't manage that. So because like I said, my truck is ready. I'm really just waiting on a part. So a part from, I think it needs to come from California or somewhere, wherever they make it, or I think it's Detroit. But they're not making them. Because of COVID, people are not going to work. So everything on back order. You can try to buy a refrigerator right now or a stove, and it'll still be on back order.
Man, it's tough.
So parts everywhere, and that's probably the biggest thing for me. Or you're at the mercy when your business, or your whole business is at the mercy of these other dealers and these part makers and stuff like that.
So basically, when you have a trucking business, right now anyways, because maybe the supply chain change later on. Just make sure you have money aside. You know what I'm saying? So you're good.
Up front, remember, for the first 2 years, they want you to tread water. After 2 years, I'm eligible to get loaners and renters. I can go to a lease company. I wouldn't have that problem because I would just go to Ride or somebody.
So right now,
I can't because
you can't even pay money to.
They don't want to. They don't because they don't. They essentially it's like they don't want you to burn them. They don't want to give you a truck, and like they want to know that you're gonna be working with it. They want to know and I'm thinking, even though I'm telling you, I have this business. Here's all my credentials. Here's I make X amount or whatever. I can give them last year's tax return or whatever. They still want to see 2 years of profit loss statements. But after that, I'm eligible. Right now, if it was 2 years later, I wouldn't even be having this conversation. I would have went to Ride. Just give me a truck. Which one y'all got available? Oh, that's the only one. Okay, it's good enough. Let me get that. And I can keep working.
Yeah, keep working and wait on your truck.
And that's what I'm good.
Keep getting chicken.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what it matters to me. So right now, like I said, I'm just treading water. This is the niche, the downside to the business, and I'm experiencing it firsthand. And this is the roughest time of any business, for that matter, not just mine. The first year or two is always the hardest for any business. So I'm experiencing it, and hopefully, I'm able to get through it. Not for nothing. It's been so long. I actually applied for a job. No
really?
BS. They have for other drivers.
See how it is to work again? What's going on, man?
But see, this is the thing. With truck drivers, because we're in such high demand, we have a unique trade and skill.
True.
They have like temp agencies specifically for truck drivers.
Gotcha.
So these temp agencies, a lot of owner operators will go to them, say they don't have work, or say they don't even want to use their tractor. They can't afford gas, so they want to get paid, but they're gonna use somebody else's tractor, use somebody else's gas, and not have to worry about putting the wear and tear on their own vehicle. They'll go to some of these places maybe 2-3 days out of the week, go get a regular paycheck, tax purposes for yourself, it's good because you have earned income that the government has to consider that they can't tax your off business to against. So it's actually a really good idea to work even part-time for another company.
Yeah, I thought you was getting a regular job, but it's still in the trucking. You're like,
no. I would never work for nobody else again.
I thought you was going to Foot Locker or something.
Never work for nobody else again.
Okay,
temporarily, don't get me wrong. I'll do it for my own benefit. For example, last year I applied for snow removal because I want to learn how to work the big John Deeres and stuff like that. So I applied for that. I had my business at the time, but I'm doing this for the experience. I'm not doing it necessarily for the money. It's good money, but I wasn't doing it for the money. I want the experience.
You know what I'm saying? Get that another notch under your belt, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Great, man. Great. So, I love everything I'm hearing, man. You make me want to get into trucking. Seriously, man. That's some real money in there. So what's the next big thing for Hightower Trucking? What you think in like a 5-year, 2-year, whatever plan, What's the next big thing? You're doing it by yourself right now, so.
For me, man, it's just, I want to grow my business. This is my baby right now. I'm coddling her. I'm feeding her, nursing her. I want her to grow. I definitely want to end at 4 or 5 trucks. So that's my goal. I don't really want to get big. If I can, if the money's there, if the business is there, and that opportunity arises at that particular time, I'll address it.
Yeah.
But my main goal right now is to just grow my business. Add 1 more truck for now. If I could do that, I'm good. So nice. I have a 5-year plan. I paid my truck off next year February 2023.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, the truck loans, they know you making money, so they're not gonna give you.
Oh, they give you like 36.
They're
like
not gonna give you. They're not giving you a long time.
Okay, they're not giving you no 72
they're
months.
They're not giving you none of that. They know you got the money, so it's like, give us our money now, and it's yours. So I'll be done the end of next year paying it off. So my goal is, that's why I'm going so hard to fix everything on it now and making sure anything under warranty right before the warranty run out. Nope, oh, this is an issue. Bring it, fix it, replace it. That one box I was telling you about is a $9,000 part. It's literally this big.
One box?
One box. It's about the size of this. It's a rectangle, square. You can look it up. A one box is part of the exhaust system. $9,000.
Damn.
It's bittersweet. It's under warranty. It just sucks that so long it has to be out, but I'm glad I don't gotta foot that bill.
That's the part that you waiting for?
That's the part I'm waiting for. That one part costs $9,000.
The lease is under warranty, but yeah.
This is the thing about the leases though, after 2 years, because after lease, let that happen to a truck that's on the lease. You bring it back to the lease company, they just give you a loaner. Okay, nice. We'll take this truck and we'll fix it. We'll get it back to you whenever we can, but in the meantime, we got a same type of truck just for you. So that's the downside. That you pay a little bit more with the leases, but again, it's all a write-off, and you don't have none of the responsibility. So that's the plus side to it. So again, I'm treading water. I initially thought that I'm gonna keep this truck forever. This is I put a system in my truck. I put lights on it. I got some 12s under the bunk and all of that.
You got a pretty truck.
Oh yeah, it's bangs, all of that. But I'm thinking to myself, and my wife telling me like, yo, you really not. After shit started breaking down on it a little bit, I'm like, yo, this is why they turn these trucks in. Like trucks have a high turnover rate. People take them, they drive them for 3-4 years, turn them shits in, trade them, and boom, that's it. They put 500,000 miles on it and they're done.
They buy a brand new one?
They buy a gold. It might not be brand new, but it's on to the next.
That's what you're gonna do?
It's on.
Or you don't know yet?
I thought I wanted to keep my truck, but from a business standpoint, it's not feasible. I'm going to have to get rid of it. I'm going to have to get another truck because it's just part of the business. So these are expenses that initially I didn't think about, but now I have to bring it to the table, and I'm planning for it 2 years because I'm not eligible for another year or two to deal with that, but I'm preparing for it now because it's going to happen. And at that point, when you're eligible for the lease, you get 1 lease, 2 leases. It's as simple as going up. Damn, I got another route. Calling up the dealership. I need 1 more truck. You're already on lease with them, and okay, we'll add this extra $2,000 next month, and you can just have to pick up the truck whenever you're ready. So that's the benefit of dealing with leases and building a relationship with these leasing companies. It's all a business, and that's why the government encourages it, and they want you to spend that money, and that's why they'll give you tax write-offs and whatnot for it. So I understand that. So that's where I plan on taking my business, grinding out. If I can add 1 more truck within the next year or two, I will. But grabbing leases and then just expanding big time over the next
Sound like a
5
great
years.
plan,
Is the
man.
plan.
And yo, the story is beautiful, man. From a felon to a business owner to making all this money, man, and paying taxes, entrepreneurship, man. Hopefully you're inspired by this. I know I am. I probably have to go to Nets or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Sign up, man.
Quick,
I want that
yeah.
chicken too. So it was great talking to you, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you coming down.
Yes.
Let the people know if you want them to contact you. Got any social that?
I'm really not on social media yet. I'm going to be setting up a professional page on Facebook and Instagram. If you need to reach me right now, you can reach me at htl at Hightower Trucking LLC.org.
All right. So there you have it. This is episode 1. Level Up Talk. Hope you can level up. All right. Talk to you on the next one.